Tom Varakan, the Prime Minister, has finally reacted. An emotional reaction from the Prime Minister.
Well, I don't think emotional reactions can replace action at the ground. He is the Prime Minister of the country. He needs to act. He needs to tell his HRD minister where the buck stops. He must tell his other minister that these actions are not permissible. It is not an issue, it's a human issue. The lifeline of a student has been cut. His scholarship has been stopped, coming from the marginalized section of society. When your scholarships are stopped, when your roof is snatched, this is not happening for the first time. This has happened in Tamil Nadu. This has happened in FTI. What is actually happening to the student community?
Okay.
This is shocking indeed. And we want the Prime Minister to act.
What does the Congress expect of the Prime Minister, Tom Varakan?
Prime Minister must tell his HRD minister that this things won't do. He must replace her.
Okay. The Prime Minister to replace the HRD. The Congress party wants the HRD minister or also Bandaru Dattatreya, the Labour Minister who wrote that letter.
Yes, both triggered the suicide. Abatement on a larger scene. Scholarships stopped, thrown out of, ostracized, thrown out of the hostel. What do you expect a student to do? Socially ostracized, scholarships snatched. I mean, under these circumstances, the Prime Minister must act, and the buck stops at him.
Okay. The emotional speech or the the Prime Minister's statement here at the university, not enough for you?
If words were solace, a man would not have lost his life. If words would replace action, then this country would be fed only on words. It is not a jumla. It is action that is required. You need to move on. Tell the Dalit, tell the community involved, tell the parents that he cares for them with action.
Okay. And the action, Tom Varakan, is action against Smriti Irani, the HRD Minister, and Labour Minister Bandaru Dattatreya.
All those involved in the process of snatching the scholarship, throwing him out, ostracizing him socially. A scholar who is trying to climb up in life.
Yes.
A scholar who is a scientist, wanted to be the future scientist of this country, we have lost.
Yes.
And lost because of whom? Let the government investigate the matter and get to the bottom of it and punish those responsible.
Okay, Tom Varakan, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. Big statement that's coming from the Congress. Also, before that, the Prime Minister. I also have Ijaz Ilmi of the BJP. Ijaz Ilmi, the Prime Minister was emotional, but at this point of time, we have the Congress who says that action must be taken. In this case, Judicial Commission. Now we are told, breaking news coming in, a Judicial Commission is being set up. The centre has ordered the setting up of a Judicial Commission to probe Rohith Vemula's death. That's the big story we're breaking here on India Today. The HRD Minister has ordered a judicial probe after scrutinizing this report. Ijaz Ilmi of the BJP joins me. Ijaz, take us through the latest on this.
Well, it's very evident that this entire incident has shocked everybody. Every Indian is feeling shocked and pained at what has happened. And so the reason is that now that the report is coming and the fact-finding committee has come back and given its report on the entire scenario, I think it's in the best interest of justice that a comprehensive judicial commission looks into this matter and does justice in this, and also lets us, this entire thing of the depressed sections of society not being able to get guides, not being able to get scholarships, there's an entire gamut of issues which needs to be resolved.
Okay. What we're also being told at this point of time, all administrative officers, all vice chancellors, all registrars to be compulsory put through a sensitization training program. That's breaking news that we are coming. What we are also being told by our sources in the HRD ministry is that the Union HRD Minister Smriti Irani has spoken to Rohith Vemula's family And after speaking to Rohith Vemula's family, what we are being told is that a judicial commission is being set up in this matter. All vice chancellors, central university vice chancellors, registrars, administrative staff will be put through a sensitization training program. Ijaz Ilmi, should these steps have been taken a little earlier?
Well, I agree with you that now these things should have been inbuilt into the mechanism of most universities, where the depressed section of society feel this sense of ostracization, or they feel that they're not wanted. But the fact is that this incident has really shocked the entire nation and the government, and I'm happy that it's better late than never that we are starting something and we can prevent death in the future of bright young minds like Rohith Vemula was.
Okay. Ijaz Ilmi, for the moment, many thanks. I want to once again listen into Prime Minister Narendra Modi reacting on Rohith Vemula. I'll get you more on that story.
जब ये खबर मिलती है कि मेरे ही देश के एक नौजवान बेटे रोहित को आत्महत्या करने के लिए मजबूर होना पड़ा,
I also want to bring in Mohammed Salim of the CPIM, who joins me on the broadcast. Mohammed Salim, two developments I want to talk to you about. Development one, the Prime Minister talking about the pain he feels at Rohith Vemula's suicide. It's a loss to the nation, he says. Mohammed Salim.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Mohammed Salim?
Yes?
Great. Gaurav Sawant here, sir. The Prime Minister says he was very hurt. He was hurt when he heard of Rohith Vemula's suicide, and that a youngster like that was forced to take his own life. The Prime Minister, couldn't speak for some time. He said, I can feel that pain. What do you make of the Prime Minister's statement?
It took so many days and so many protests throughout the country to make the Prime Minister feel pain of the family, sensitive people. This is the height of irresponsiveness. The first thing we should have asked the HRD Minister. It was not our business and the department's business to interfere in the Hyderabad Central University about this action against these Dalit students. But she was pressurized. The government was pressurized by the local MP, and who happens to be a minister also, and the ABP leaders. So without action, only just expressing some sorrow, that's true after so many days, is not good.
Okay, and we are breaking the story, Mohammed Salim, that the HRD Minister has just ordered the setting up of a judicial commission to probe the circumstances that led to Rohith Vemula's suicide, and that all Central University Vice Chancellors, registrars and administrative staff to go through a sensitization training program.
Actually, this is the state of this country. As a section of this fanatic forces, dogmatic forces, they think they have got power and they can do anything. And the will be a silent watcher. And this has been evident during Dadri. This is now being evident in us. And the government is so irresponsive and they are not acting fast. That's why these elements, they are taking the law into their hands. Otherwise, this people's life would not have lost. So now, finding out fault, finding out inquiry, and then taking action. Why such things are happening? A Dalit student reaching to a level of a research scholar, PhD level, is a very difficult job. He has to undergo severe struggles. So the government and the ministry, and particularly university authority, why should not be very sensitive? And it's a question of basic understanding. The dogged anti-Dalit stance of the ABP and Sangh Parivar has to be changed first.
Mohammed Salim of the CPIM, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. Let's listen into Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I'll get you more on this big breaking story on the broadcast.
जब ये खबर मिलती है कि मेरे ही देश के एक नौजवान बेटे रोहित को आत्महत्या करने के लिए मजबूर होना पड़ा, उसके परिवार पर क्या बीती होगी। मां भारती ने अपना एक लाल खोया। कारण अपनी जगह पर होंगे, राजनीति अपनी जगह पर होगा, लेकिन सच्चाई यह है कि मां ने एक लाल खोया। इसकी पीड़ा मैं भली भांति महसूस करता हूं। लेकिन हम उस देश को इस दिशा में ले जाना चाहते हैं कि जहां नया उमंग हो, नया संकल्प हो, नया आत्मविश्वास हो, संकटों से जूझने वाला नौजवान हो। और बाबा साहब आंबेडकर के जो सपने थे, उन सपनों को पूरा करने का हमारा अविरत प्रयास हो।
And I also want to bring in our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai for more on this. Rajdeep, 5 days after the incident, the Prime Minister and his emotional speech on Rohith Vemula at the Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University. What do you make of it?
But I think, Gaurav, the fact is that it clearly shows how this issue has become political. Every statement being made by any political leader in the last 5 days, an interpretation is being sought. Rahul Gandhi was the first of the mark when he went to Hyderabad, and it is not surprising that the Prime Minister has chosen this occasion, speaking to students to respond to, in a sense, the growing concern that is being politically expressed, that this issue has become a bit of a political hot potato, dividing, in a sense, politicians in terms of their attempts to create some kind of a Dalit constituency, a Dalit vote bank. And I think the Prime Minister is conscious of the fact that the BJP is on the back foot on the issue, his government is on the back foot on this issue, and they cannot afford to be seen to be in any way caught on the wrong foot. I think he's trying to show empathy and sympathy, where in the past some of his ministers have responded with aggression. I think the Prime Minister has recognized that aggression is not going to work, because on an issue like this, unless you are seen to be empathetic,
Yes.
you might be out of tune with the sentiment, particularly among the Dalit community and the OBC community, where the students do feel strongly about this issue. So I think the Prime Minister has every right to feel emotional, and I'm sure that his sentiments are genuine. But I think there is also an element of political damage control which is going on at the moment, because the government has recognized that being aggressive on this issue is not going to pay any dividends. It needs to be seen to be sympathetic and empathetic to Rohith's family.
And simultaneously, Rajdeep, we're also breaking that story about a judicial commission being set up. I mean, as soon as that central panel submitted the report to the HRD ministry, sources telling us that a judicial panel is being set up to probe why Rohith Vemula committed suicide, and this panel is to submit its report in 3 months.
That again is not surprising, Gaurav. You have seen the sentiments being expressed across the political spectrum, and even sentiments being expressed by BJP and NDA leaders. Chirag Paswan and Ramvilas Paswan have openly said that such a judicial commission should be set up.
Yes.
Clearly, the government doesn't want to get involved beyond the point in any political tutu-meh-meh with the opposition, where they will be on the losing side.
Yes.
And thereby, by setting up a judicial commission, you are distancing yourself at one level and assuring those who feel aggrieved that you are at least creating the impression of a free, fair and independent inquiry. I think maybe this commission could have been set up even earlier to try and control the damage.
Okay.
I think some damage has been done to the government, but in the
So
manner...
is this then damage? Okay, and let me put that question to Saugata Roy of the TMC, who joins us on the broadcast. Sir, a judicial commission now being set up, the Prime Minister, he's upset, and as we see in these pictures as he spoke at the Bhimrao Ambedkar University, what do you make of the government's action now?
If they set up a judicial commission, it will be a good step. I hope that it's set up soon.
because from whatever the facts have come out,
Yes.
the Vice Chancellor of the Hyderabad University of Hyderabad cannot absolve himself of the blame for this Rohith Vemula's suicide, nor can the HRD minister and the Minister for Labour and MP from Secunderabad,
Right.
Bangaru Dattatreya, they
Yes.
can absolve themselves of the responsibility. The whole thing happened because the minister wrote to the HRD ministry. HRD ministry in turn wrote 5 letters to the Vice Chancellor, thus pressurizing them to take action against Rohith Vemula. If their government has woken up now, it's good. But the Prime Minister should take some action against these persons who were directly or indirectly responsible for the suicide.
Saugata Roy, for the moment, many thanks for joining me here, sir. 2 major developments. The Prime Minister, he said, I can feel the pain of Rohith Vemula's family, and the HRD Minister, Smriti Irani, she's just ordered, for HRD Ministry sources telling India Today, a judicial inquiry into Rohith Vemula's suicide. Also, a sensitization program for all Vice Chancellors, Registrars and administrative staff of central universities.
The centre, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi could reshuffle his cabinet, we are told, if not by the end of this month, but certainly before the budget session. Sources telling India Today that Prime Minister Modi
Description done, and he'll tell you what to do with it, how to go about it, and whether it's worth your money or not. Over to you, Sahil Sina.
I have my jacket back on, which